Hey up everyone, hope you're all doing well. These are the spoilers for UFC 319, what takes place this weekend, and it's absolutely stacked. Right, so to start off this card, this unreal card, we have a fight I have no idea about. These two fighters, I have no fucking clue who they are. They're both from the Ultimate Fighter, the new season of it. You don't watch it, I don't watch it, so I know fuck all about these two. But who do I think wins? I'm going to go with the undefeated Kazakhstani Alibi Idiris, but I don't know who actually wins this one. Best of luck to both of you boys. Next up, we have Karine Silva taking on Dione Barboza. Another bit of a stinky one in my opinion, but I think Karine Silva's going to get a 29-28 over Dione Barboza. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, mate, but yeah, I think this could be quite competitive. A 29-28 for Karine Silva. She was meant to take on JJ Aldrich, but that's no longer the case. So I think the one who's had a full training camp is going to win this one. Next up, this is where things start to get interesting, guys, okay? This is where the card really takes it to a new level. I can't believe this fight's on the early prelims, by the way, which is mental, but Nursulton, Ruziboev taking on Bryan, the Butcher battle. Who wins this one? This is at middleweight, by the way, no longer welterweight. I know both guys have fought at welterweight and middleweight, but yes, this is at middleweight. I think Bryan Battle's going to do better at middleweight, no longer having cut so much weight. We saw how bad he looked against Randy Brown, and he should have lost that fight as well, in my opinion. He's a slight favorite, but I'm going with Ruziboev because I think that Bryan Battle, he's good. I really do like him. I just don't think he's as great as people make out, so I think Ruziboev going to get a competitive decision against Bryan Battle. I think it'll be close in moments, but I do think Ruziboev is much better than Bryan Battle, and I think he's going to beat him. Next up, to close out the early prelims, we've got Edson Barboza versus Drakkar Klose. Now, I'm actually really scared about this one because I am a big fan of Edson Barboza. I love this guy, and he is a slight favorite, but he is 39 years old. Then again, Drakkar Klose is 37. I do think Edson Barboza is going to win this one. I'm going with the favorite on this one, but I'm not silly. I know that Drakkar Klose can definitely win this. I just think Barboza no longer cutting down to 145, even though he had success at 145. I think him coming back up to 155 is going to suit him a lot more. I don't rate Drakkar Klose that much, so I think that Barboza is going to have, I think this is going to be an absolute banger in all fairness, back and forth, brother. But I think that Edson Barboza is going to get a decision win, maybe a 29-28, maybe a late finish, but I do think that Edson Barboza will get his hand raised at the end of this. Now we move on to the actual prelims, and we get some, in my opinion, some weird matchmaking. I thought Chase Hooper would have got a better opponent than Alex Hernandez, but here we are. He's the same age as me. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyways, he's taking on Alex Hernandez. Who wins this one? I'm going with the moderate favorite. Alex Hernandez was good, like, when he first came into the UFC and starched Beneil Dariush. Other than that, he's just been, you know what I mean? Chase Hooper, he's shown quite decent at 155 in my opinion. I think he's going to take down Alex Hernandez in like the second round and get the submission victory against Alex Hernandez. I don't think Hernandez is going to be a problem for Hooper whatsoever. Now we move on. Jéssica Andrade taking on Lupita Godinez. Who wins this one? I'm going with the underdog man. I feel like Jéssica Andrade, I can't believe she's only 33. Feels like she's been around since, I don't know, she's been around forever pretty much. I don't know, I just feel like she wins this one. She only really loses to really good comp in my opinion, and I just don't think Lupita Godinez is really good comp. I think she's okay, don't get me wrong. I could see how she wins this one. I think it's competitive, but I just think Jéssica Andrade, she's still got that dog in it, and she's still my girl. Reference to Chris Weidman's dad, shout out. But anyways, yes, I think Jéssica Andrade is going to win a decision. Could be people shouting robbery, but yeah, I think that Andrade is going to get this one. Next on, we move on. I feel like you should move GM3 and Michael. I feel like that should be swapped with one of these two fights. I feel like Bryan Battle and Ruziboev shouldn't be on the early prelims and should replace this fight. I feel like you could even do that for Andrade and Barboza and Drakkar Klose, but whatever, doesn't matter. I'm not talking about the bout order now. The slight favorite, well, the moderate favorite is Michał, and I think that Michael's going to win this. I think he's been with the fighting nerds recently. He looked good in his last fight against Cedric Dumas. Dumas isn't anything great, I understand, and GM3 is the mighty Clutchmeister, but I still think that Michał is going to get a finish here. I don't know if it'll be a submission or a KO, but I do think he'll be able to finish GM3 and get the job done against him. I think this could be quite a decent fight. Nothing crazy though. But now we move on to Battle of the Washed. We have Bobby Green, not King Green, I'm not fucking calling him that, taking on Diego Ferreira. I actually think this is going to be a banger. Who wins this one? Now I could see Bobby Green winning, but I just think he is more washed than Diego Ferreira. He's king washed, if you get what I mean. But anyways, yeah, Diego Ferreira, he's got that dog in him. He's quite decent at everywhere. He goes at a stupid pace. I think he's still able to pick up some victories here and there like he did Mateusz Rebecki and whatnot. So I think Diego Ferreira maybe gets like a third round finish. I think this is going to be a decent back and forth, but I think Ferreira is going to get his hand raised by the end of it. After this, to start the main card, we have Kai Asakura taking on Tim Elliott, brother. Who do I think wins this? I think the moderate favorite. I think Tim Elliott, he's been out for like a year 1.5. He's quite techie and tricky. You know, he's quite weird at times. But I think Kai Asakura, he's a demolition job. He's going to put it... I think he's going to put Tim Elliott out of there in the very first round. I don't give much of a chance for Tim Elliott. I think Kai Asakura is going to drop him badly and send him into orbit. I think it's going to be a very big knockout from Kai Asakura, which we don't really see often from flyweights, but I think Asakura is going to get that over Tim Elliott in the very first round. I don't think Tim Elliott really has a chance in this fight. Now we move on to a tricky one. We have Jared Cannonier taking on Michael Venom Page. Now, MVP is a slight favorite. I think I'm going to go with MVP, but I don't want to count out Jared Cannonier. I like Jared Cannonier. You know, he's got that dog in him. He weathered the storm against Robocop, which was a tough storm as well. I just feel like with MVP, fighters are immune to using their grappling against him unless your name's Ian Gary. If you just don't use the grappling against him, Jared Cannonier doesn't really use his grappling much anyways. Is he going to start using it now? I don't know. I feel like he's going through a lot of leg kicks, but it's just for range and distance management of MVP is just too much. I feel like MVP might get like a boring decision win against Jared Cannonier, but I'm hoping Cannonier can turn back the clock on this one and possibly chin MVP. Then again, MVP floating around the top end of the middleweight division would be quite interesting in my opinion. But now we move on. This is brilliant. Now, I know that Carlos Prates is a moderate favorite, but I feel like Neal could definitely take this one. I'm going to go with Carlos Prates by second round knockouts because he has good power. He's able to use his reach and his length, got good kickboxing. But both guys are somewhat hittable in my opinion. I don't think Jeff Neal has the best of defense. I don't think Carlos Prates has the best of defense. I feel like whoever lands first, and I feel like Prates will land first. So I'm going to go with Prates second round knockout, but don't be surprised if Jeff Hands of Steel Neal is able to clock Carlos Prates and win this one. I feel like there's a good chance of that. I feel like the betting odds should be a bit closer, but whatever, man. I might just chuck some money on Jeff Neal. Fuck it, why not? Now we get to the co-main. I know people have been moaning about this one. What I'm going to moan about, how the fuck is Aaron Pico the favorite? How is he the favorite against Lerone Murphy? I don't understand this, guys. He's lost to bums. He's beat bums. So let's make him a favorite over Lerone Murphy, who's undefeated and beat some good comp in Edson, Barboza, Dan Ige, and Josh Emmett. Are they great comp? Are they arguably at the end of their careers? Yeah, fair enough. But they're still very dangerous compared to who Aaron Pico's been fighting. You know what I mean? So I think Lerone Murphy, this is only a 3-round fight. I think Lerone Murphy's going to get a 30-27 unless there's like a Dan Ige moment where he gets dropped. You know what I mean? Like, he was winning all of that first round, and then Dan Ige drops Lerone Murphy in that very first round, but then he went on to win 29-28 very clearly. Anyways, maybe that could happen, but I do think Lerone Murphy's definitely winning this one. Aaron Pico, I don't know how he's been just jumped straight up in here and got into the rankings. I don't know why. I don't know if he's got photos of Dana White, whatever. I don't have a fucking clue, guys, but I think Lerone Murphy's going to piss all over Aaron Pico. Next up, the main event, the one everyone cares about now. For the past few months, I've been flip-flopping on who's going to win this one. 1 minute I'm DDP, 1 minute I'm Khamzat Chimaev. But for like the last 2-3 weeks, I would say, I've kind of favored this person a lot more and thought, yeah, no, he's going to get it done. It's Khamzat Chimaev. I think Khamzat Chimaev's going to get it done, guys. Now, why? Now, I really want to be proven wrong. I really want DDP to win this one. I just think that Khamzat, when it comes to the grappling, we saw Derek Brunson have success with the grappling against DDP and Brad Tavares as well. I think did Whittaker land a takedown against DDP as well? And yes, okay, fair enough. If you all have decent grappling, Brunson was actually had some underrated grappling. Khamzat Chimaev is just 100 times better grapplers than all of those guys. He's a lot more faster paced. He's a lot more aggressive with it. He's a lot more intense. I feel like DDP as well, with his awkward style and how he throws and whatnot, he's kind of open to being taken down a bit easier as well. I feel like this one's hard to call because of Khamzat's cardio. I feel like if Khamzat had great cardio, this wouldn't be a hard fight to call whatsoever. But what makes it hard is like, okay, well, if Khamzat doesn't get him out of there in the first or second round, DDP is going to take it. And I also agree with that. I agree with that take. That's the common take, and it makes sense why that is the common take. But I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to get DDP out of there. First round submission or second round submission with all ground and pound. He's going to get a finish. If not, well, then yeah, it's a long night for Khamzat, but I do think he's going to get the job done. I really want DDP to win. I want him to prove me wrong, but unfortunately, that's just how I see it. Do I see it being some absolute barn burner? You know what? possibly. There's many outcomes to this fight, and that's what makes it even 10 times more interesting. Khamzat is a moderate favorite, so who knows? Maybe if you want to, chuck some money on DDP if you're really that, you know, confident about him winning this one. But I cannot wait for this. One of the most anticipated fights of the year for me personally. I can't wait for this. The hype's been crazy. I can't wait for the press conference tomorrow or in a couple of days. This is going to be absolute cinema. But let me know in the comments, guys, how do you see these fights playing out? What fight are you looking forward to the most? If you're a betting man, what fights are you going to put a bet on? For me, it's going to be this guy right here, Lerone Murphy. I'm definitely putting a fucking bet on that guy. Trust me. Believe me, brother. But yes, I got Khamzat Chimaev. Let me know in the comments if you agree with some of mine. Thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.